Well, good morning. Today, as I am recording this, is Thursday, the 12th, December, or not December, March 12th. And I want to share a little topic that I have never shared here before in my page, in all the areas of what I've been sharing before. I've been growing this Micah's Wellness business, and it has taken a lot of steps. And there was always something that kept me anchored and, well, not anchored, stuck. And I didn't know what that is. Today, as I'm speaking, this is the year that I will be turning 60. And sometimes it takes a long time to figure things out. God has a way for us to learn from our challenges, from our pains. And today I want to talk about narcissism. Narcissism, it's a big word. It's a word that I had no idea what it was and what it was doing to me. And now I like to say it was not doing it to me, it was doing it for me. So I want you to be patient and be open, and to be open for a new perspective. And I have not even Googled, and I was going to do that before this call. And I think while I'm on this call, I'm going to even Google the number, because I want to see the percentage. And I don't think the percentage of the amount of narcissists, uh, people who are affected by narcissists, is humongous. I have no idea what that percentage is, and I'm Googling it right now as we speak. Percentage of people affected by, we talk about illnesses, right? But we never talk about narcissism and how that can be one of the major causes. That's my perspective of cancer and Alzheimer's and dementia and all the things, by narcissists. Okay, it says, now it says, and as I'm speaking, because that is how we learn, right? We become curious about something and we learn. So when you learn and when you know better, you do better. But sometimes we are so naive and so uncertain about so many things, but we're fearing to go and seek for some information that could help us. So this call is about that. Narcissist personality disorders affects an estimated of 0.5% to 6.2% of the general population. So that is huge. And it says who make up, it says often cited at around 1% to 2% or up to 16% of people in clinical settings may meet the criteria, and it is more common in males, who make up 50 to 75% of the scale. So there we go. A lot of men are narcissists, and it's their upbringing. I don't know what causes, but there's so much. And I had no idea that I was immersed and hijacked. Now I like to say I was hijacked by a narcissist, and I had no idea. And I felt so lost for so many years. So I felt like I was spinning my wheels. No matter what I did, I was doing one step forward, two step back, one step forward, two step back. If you have been there, you know what I'm talking about. And it's a big word, and you probably do not even know those. If you're at the beginning, or you have no idea, but you have felt off, if you have felt that something is not right, and that you're not being valued, that you're not being loved, that you're not being comprehended, that you're not being protected, you don't feel safe in your body. This, in addition to perimenopause, menopause, and all the hormonal changes that the body goes through, um, it feels like an attack. It feels like an attack to the body and to the brain and to the soul. And then the more you do not look at the thing, the more it's going to be chasing you. That is the reality. And today I listened to a message, and if you read the Bible, you will see ask, seek, knock. And that is a little message that I heard today. Everything always aligns when you're seeking something and you're putting your attention somewhere. That is going to grow. Where attention goes, energy grows. So be very aware of where you're focused your attention in, because that is going to grow. And sometimes we're focused on the wrong places. And then we we cannot understand why things cannot go right. Well, because we're focused on all the wrong things. But how do we know? What lets us know what is the right thing, the wrong thing? And it's not right or wrong, it's just knowing. And one simple thing that I want to share with you, that your body knows the best. The brain is always going to be protective. That is the role of the brain. So the brain can be hijacked by your nervous system is being hijacked by a narcissist. And that can be your father, that can be your mother, that can be a sibling, that could be your spouse, that can be a teacher or someone, or it can be your boss, right? But know that, yeah, the body knows best, and the body does not lie to you. So when you feel off in your body consistently, just ask the question, am I in the right place? Is this coming from me, or where is this coming from? So if someone is making you doubt yourself, then be more curious about that person, and be more curious about yourself with that person, because it can be so painful, and we can be in this toxic environment for so long. And the more we stay in that toxic environment, the harder it gets to get out of it. And I'm talking about that because I have been in it for so long, until we make a decision. And it's only one decision. When you decide what you want in your life and why you want that, then things become easier. Once you make the decision, an aligned decision with the Creator, with your Lord, with God, then things start falling into place. But sometimes we are trying to ask, but we don't even know what to ask. What happened to me many years ago when I started perimenopause and all this doubt of what's going on with I think perimenopause and menopause is a season in the season of a woman where everything gets shaken. Yes, hormonal imbalances happen, but there's so much more that is happening in our psyche, in our subconscious, in our conscious. And that's why we're going like a roller coaster. And now I like to say that's a good thing, because if nothing is going wrong, then we are not seeking for solutions. When things are painful and challenging, then you are so desperate that you want to seek for a solution. And this season, I like to see menopause as a different perspective. Yes, it's the biology. Yes, it's changes, but it's also an era of, like the women before, women did not live more than 50 or 60 years. So there was a staple of age. So now it's like, oh, you're aging. That is normal. That is part of who you are. And now you're done. Well, let me tell you the truth. You're not done. You're just starting. In this season, when you know and understand how to embrace these different parts of you, because you're a whole, but you're a whole made out of different parts. And what I do with Micah's Wellness, in Micah's Wellness, when you come to me to help you, empower you, all these parts of you, and put your puzzle together. That is what Micah's Wellness does here. And that is what I'm very, very, very good at. And I say it with good, like pride, in a good pride, because God has given me a gift and a calling. And that is to help women feel empowered with and put all the beautiful parts of who you are together so you can feel complete and fulfilled. And with that completeness, whatever you learn about yourself, that is going to be the gift that you give to others. And we serve and we feel better when we live in purpose. Our purpose is not only procreation, it's not only our children. Yes, that is a stepping stone. But what comes after our children? What comes after when the kids go and we become an empty nester? That is when we have the opportunity in that hole that it feels so, so saddening in the season, in the moment. But it opens up a space for you to become the best version of you. And the best version of you will come when you start seeking, right? Seeking. So asking, seeking, then knocking. So ask is a part, the first part is having clarity on what you're asking for. What is it that you want? Having that clarity, probably it took me 10 years or 5 years to know really what I wanted. I was so confused in living with a narcissist. I was so confused. It's like, really, nobody asked me before, what do I want? So I didn't know. It's like, what do I want? What do I really want? I just wanted to feel better. I don't know how that would look, what that better would look like, because our nervous system is so hijacked that you don't know your body feeling better. So how are you going to get there? It's almost impossible. So it's a training, it's a consistent habit changing. It's little habit changing at a time. When your nervous system becomes less defensive and more offensive, it's like more into the defense. No, you're not going to be defending yourself. You're going to be more in a peace and neutral, so you can receive. We cannot change anything that we cannot see or we cannot be aware of. So step number one is becoming aware, is asking for what you want. It's becoming aware and having clarity of what is it that you want. That is one step, and that can be a full season in your life. It can be 1, 3, 5 years of having that clarity. But isn't it worth it to have clarity and know exactly what you're asking for? Because now you're asking for something and you start seeking. Like right now, I started seeking some information about narcissists. And when you seek, you find the answers. So when I knew in perimenopause that I didn't want to be in this brain fog, I didn't want to lose my memory, I didn't want to lead to Alzheimer's and dementia. So then I made a decision. It's like, oh, what do I need to do to not get there? So to prevent. So then I went into that day, something opened up for me and a message landed. And it's like, okay, this is the type of nutrition or this is the type of way of eating that you need to do in order to protect your brain. So I followed that to the T. And everything changed for me. That was the catalyst for me to change completely. And I like to say, and we like to say, and you probably have heard it, if you change 1%, 1%, you're going in this direction, but you change 1%, this leads you in a totally different direction of your life. Baby steps, that direction instead of this direction takes you somewhere very, very different. So deciding, making an honest decision is like, this needs to change today. not tomorrow, because we don't have tomorrow guaranteed. Today, what do you want to make a decision on? Honoring yourself and valuing yourself and feeling secure in your own body and understanding what that is, and training your body in a different way. So one of the things I also like to do in my program is to help regulate your nervous system with a very, very simple tool, which is called Inner Voice. And Inner Voice gives you a melody that helps you feel like whenever you hear your melodies is to harmonize your body, to balance your body, and you feel like, oh my gosh, I feel like melting. When you feel that way, you're lowering your defenses, you're lowering your cortisol levels, and now your body is willing and understanding and aligned to make better actions. So in that seeking is learning different tools, different habits, different ways of eating, different ways of speaking, different types of ways of thinking. And when you're seeking and testing all those things, now you're have more clarity. You have more information. You have seeked some information, and then now you can go knock on the right doors, right? It's like knock and it shall be open. And for me, that knocking is like I wanted to knock the door of Jesus, God, and be willing and available to listen to his message, to be available to the calling. But I was so busy learning all the things that I didn't have that positioning. And I feel that that could be the first door. But if we align everything into that, we can compress like all the things that I have learned in 10 years. We can compress like in 3, 6 months or a year. But wouldn't it be worth it to do some work on yourself for 3, 6 months, a year, rather than 10 years of seeking and understanding and knocking all the wrong doors, being frustrated and overwhelmed, and not understanding yourself and just getting into emergency visits, doctor visits, and then because when we do not take care of ourselves, it leads to cancer, it leads to Alzheimer's, it leads to dementia, and it leads to high blood pressure, leads to hypertension, it leads to heart failure, all those things. And the body knows best. So remember how I started saying that the body knows what is right or wrong. And when the body does not feel safe, protected, it starts producing chemicals in your body that is toxic to your body. That is called excessive cortisol. And that can be toxic. A little bit of cortisol is important for us to take action, but a lot and 24/7, we feel under attack. That is no bueno, no good. So when you're in that position, then that is really leading into illnesses that you don't want to be living with, right? And it's so detrimental. It's so like it's so saddening that there's so many people dying from those diseases when a lot of them could have been prevented. And even in very healthy people, there is something that has not been acknowledged. There's something that has not been recognized on themselves that is leading to those diseases. And as I'm recording this in 2026, I have a very good friend who was into health and wellness for many, many years, and she passed away last week. And I am so sorry to hear that shocking news. She was about to turn 60, the same as me. And just it's like I became curious what happened. And now I started investigating a little bit about her life. And a lot of her story came up when the ceremony of life. And my theories started to become certain. I became certain about some things that they were shared that like my theory is probably right. Um, but if you're listening to this message is for you, for younger generations, because the better version of you that you become, whether you're in your 30s, your 40s, your 60s, your 70s, never too late to start something new and to seeking, finding yourself, because we have different seasons and no matter what happened, then you learn to forgive what happened and forgive yourself for being in that situation. And now you're open to learning something new. You have space and become the best version of you. And it takes very micro actions to do that and to feel better. When you feel better, you do better. And you're a better light to others around you. Don't you want to do that? And I am here for you. Micah's Wellness is born from a need for me to be seen, validated, and loved and protected and feel safe. And now I am extending that invitation to you so you can learn it for yourself. This is not a cookie cutter. This is a place where you can be authentically you, let go of all your barriers, be transparent with who you are, and and feel authenticity is the highest frequency, the highest energy that we can navigate our lives with. When that authenticity comes up, nobody is going to stop you. You become unstoppable. And that is how I am feeling. That's the energy that I'm carrying right now. And I don't know who is going to listen to this message, but I hope you're hearing my heart and you can feel my frequency and my energy. Life reflects back to you whatever you're feeling. And these lately, I've received so much confirmation. And yesterday, even I was at a friend's or a client's house, and just to share a little example, he has a cat, and that is his cat. This cat does not go to anybody ever, but his own lap only. Yesterday, we were sitting next to each other, having some tea, chatting, and that cat all of a sudden jumps into my lap. And we were like, what just happened? I don't know. Maybe it's a recognition or something. And I felt honored because that cat chose to be on my lap when he does not go with anybody else. So I hope this message is giving you a door, an opportunity to seek deeper on who you really are. And I want to bring out the best of you because you deserve to be seen, heard, understood. You deserve to feel loved by God. You're always loved, but you need to know that you deserve to be loved by you. And with that, Micah's Wellness is always open. If you are seeing this, and my website is always on the notes, there is a wellness consultation, and that is going to help you just feel validated on you're not crazy, you're dealing with stuff. And if you're dealing with menopause and being in a narcissist relationship, I have some tools for you that are going to change your biology so you can change your biography and feel better for the rest of your years because you deserve it and your grandchildren deserve the best version of you. Not only your children, your grandchildren. Wouldn't you like to tell stories to your grandchildren of your overcoming? And that is me. And that is what you're dealing with when you come to Micah's Wellness. And I extend with an open heart invitation to take a look at yourself, take a look at the mirror, make one decision. That one yes can totally change your life forever and ever and change future generations. Break the generational curse break the generational pattern. You don't deserve that. You deserve to be the change maker of future generations. And that is what I'm here for. Thank you so much for listening. I love you, and I hope we can meet someday and I can be a little stepping stone in your life for you to become the best version of yourself. Thank you.